Assalamu alaikum everybody and welcome back to the Deen Dreamers, and today inshallah we'll be looking at the story of Prophet Nuh, who he was and why is he such an important figure in Islam. So let's begin. What actually is the story of Prophet Nuh? So many years ago, after the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, people started to worship and pray idols again instead of Allah. They would ask for help from idols instead of Allah. They had 5 idols that they would regularly worship on a daily basis, who they would ask for help from and they would ask for guidance from instead of Allah. Astaghfirullah. So, what did Allah do? Allah sent down Prophet Nuh to educate the people. He appointed the Prophet as a messenger and sent him down to teach them the right way. And Prophet Nuh was known to be a kind and patient man. He educated the people that worshipped idols is bad and that they should go onto the right path. However, only a handful of people believed what the Prophet was saying, and only a handful followed in his footsteps. Many ignored him and just carried on with their day, astaghfirullah. And the disbelievers actually started getting angry at the Prophet as to why he was disrupting their lives. But the Prophet Nuh carried on educating them, carried on educating the disbelievers and telling them that if they continued worshipping idols, Allah would punish them severely, astaghfirullah. However, the people wouldn't listen and would put their fingers in their ears so they couldn't hear what the Prophet had to say, and would just be ignorant and rude and just horrible to everything the Prophet said, astaghfirullah. Then, still after that, Prophet Nuh was patient and he carried on preaching the word of Allah for 950 years, alhamdulillah. And the disbelievers still refused to follow him. After that, Allah revealed to the Prophet that none of the disbelievers are actually going to believe him, come onto the right path. Those who have converted are going to be the only ones. And after that, the Prophet Nuh prayed. He prayed for the disbelievers and prayed to Allah to punish them for their wrongdoings. And alhamdulillah, Allah answered his prayers. And Allah told him, alright, you need to start building a ship. And the Prophet was instructed not to tell anybody about the ship, what it was for, or anything. And as Prophet told Allah to build a ship, it was because Allah was going to send a flood to destroy all the disbelievers as a form of punishment for disobeying Allah. And alhamdulillah, Allah guided the Prophet through each step. As the ship was being built, the disbelievers saw what was going on, and they started making fun of the Prophet and mocking and laughing at him. However, this didn't put the Prophet off. In fact, it encouraged him and made him want to build a ship which was even more efficient. And the Prophet didn't care what they were saying. And with alhamdulillah, with the help of Allah, he carried on building the ship. And once the ship was built, he waited for Allah's sign. And after Allah's signal, he started gathering a pair of male and female of every single species of animal, of wildlife, everything you can think of, from giraffes to insects like ants and spiders to crocodiles and rhinos and lions. Every single thing was put onto that ship, including those who believed Allah and those who followed onto Allah's path, which was the righteous path, alhamdulillah. After gathering all the wildlife and all the believers, the Prophet then told Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he was ready. And once Allah received the signals, that's when Allah sent his punishment down to the earth. The Prophet Nuh was instructed to set sail into the sea and off into the darkness. After he set sail, the storm arrived. It was really, really windy. The sea was gushing with water. It just kept on raining and raining and raining, and the land surrounding the sea filled with water and flooded its surroundings that you couldn't see anything, and everything inside was destroyed. And on that day, the only thing left was the Prophet's ark and what was inside. Finally, after all the disbelievers were punished, alhamdulillah, the storm ended and the water on the land sank into the ground. It stopped raining and the wind disappeared, alhamdulillah. The Prophet could finally see the land again, and then he landed on Mount Judai. After landing safely, the Prophet released all the animals that he had captured onto the land once again for them to be free. The Prophet and the believers thanked Allah many, many times for saving them, and several years later, he told his children to never, ever, ever stray from the path of Allah. And from Prophet's story, we're taught to be patient, to be on the righteous path, and to always follow Allah's commands. Alhamdulillah. Thank you for watching Deen Dreamers, everybody. Inshallah, I'll see you.